All right, Panther fans, how we doing? So here we are again. We're closing in on 5,000 subscribers. Thank you, Fluffy. And we're closing in on hockey season. That's the most important thing. I know I'm ready. I know Stu is ready. Stu texts me every day at like 3 a.m. He's waking up in a cold sweat. I need hockey. It's incredible. Poor guy. The poor guy. Look, he's got a nub of a cigar. Please, for Stu's sake, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, make a
Hey,
comment,
I
something,
need
please.
I need cigar donations.
Yeah.
we gotta
Poor
do
Stu.
we gotta do a live chat, and I gotta get super chats.
Yeah.
I can't believe I don't have my trademark cigar.
Well, and look, it's Sunday. It's
I'm
Sunday
smoking a
morning.
roach.
It's Sunday morning before 10 o'clock. We're at our age. We're lucky we're alive and awake. So,
All right, let's do it,
all right,
man. Bottom
all right.
four defense.
We're going to do the bottom four of the Panthers defense. Now, for purposes of this video, we're going to go with the four that, as of now, we assume are the likely four in some order, which is Montour, Gudis, Carlson, and Stahl. I know we've got Delzato and Deteto and a couple of other guys. We got Kiersted. I know there's going to be some other competition there, and who knows if we make a move. But for purposes of this video, we're going to go over the four. Now, I want to start at the end because we've all kind of gone back and forth. I've gone back and forth. It's like, who do we make out of those four the second pair? And I have a stat here. Let me move this mic a second. I have a statistic that I'm going to share that might answer our question.
Okay.
All right, let me share this. Oh, here. Okay. That is Mark Stahl's time on ice statistics.
Wow,
he hasn't played over 20 minutes.
17 years. Wow.
17 years. Now, last year he played 71 games. That's really good. Time on ice, 17 and a quarter. Now, I looked at Forsling's time on ice last year before Ekblad got hurt, when Forsling was on the second pair, 20, 21 minutes a night. So the question is going to be, at a year older, Mark Stahl hasn't played 20 minutes a night since that's 2014.
Okay.
That's a while. So can he up his game basically 4 minutes a night? Or well, go ahead.
No, finish your thought.
Well, it's him, or I'm going to switch over here to Lucas Carlson's statistics. I mean, it's limited. We saw him for 40 games last year. Everybody kind of liked what they saw, but you don't know what's going to happen to a guy when he goes from 12 minutes a night on the bottom pair to a full-time second pair. Stu's getting a call from that's the commissioner calling him. So out of one of those guys, go ahead, Stu. Go ahead.
What did I say? I mean, it fits perfectly into what I said on the last video, and that was because Stahl is getting older,
right,
and Gudis is a year older. They're going to be bumped down to the third pairing. Montour and whoever his partner is should be on the second pair.
Right.
Makes sense.
It's right now with the guys we have. It's the only thing that really makes sense. And I know on my season preview, I put Stahl with Montour, and that preview was more about what I thought was going to happen than what I think should happen. And who knows? But the other thing is who is this? That's Mark Stahl. I want to go to Brandon Montour. Brandon Montour, the 2 years where he's played more than 80 games, he has some offensive ability. I mean, 81 games, 11 goals, 26 assists. And that's not just a concoction of how good our offense was, because if you look all the way back up in 2017 with Anaheim, 80 games, 9 goals, 23 assists. So he's got some offensive upside.
Absolutely.
If you pair him with the guy that's going to be the stay-at-home half of that pair, if Lucas Carlson can do that job, I think we're solid there.
Yep.
What do you think, Stu?
I agree. I like that pair. And I'm, really bummed out that that Bruno he screwed up. He screwed up.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Carlson should have been the man. And hindsight's 2020,
right.
but we didn't need to trade a first round pick for Sherratt. He really didn't shine as much as we had hoped.
No, and it's funny because when it happened, we all thought, oh man, it was a beautiful move because it timed out literally the Ekblad got hurt right after. So
Yeah.
they
But
never
I
got to
mean,
play together.
he just, he didn't stand out.
Right.
Certainly not in the playoffs like he did the year before with Montreal.
Right.
I
No,
mean, that's why we got him.
yeah. Yep. No, I totally agree with that. That's the one. I mean, I understand going for the Giroux one. But boy, the one for Sherratt, that in hindsight, that definitely hurt. That definitely, but the other half of that is it's hard to find fault in Zito and the management and the ownership. It's hard to find fault for them to say, all right, we feel this is our year.
I mean,
And
on paper,
on paper and the way Bobrovsky was
Giroux
playing,
and Sherratt should have put us over the top.
right. Yeah,
Giroux had
no
some
doubt.
good games, but again, in the playoffs, I mean, he was, at the top of the scoring list for us, but that was
Yeah.
mainly in the Cap series.
Giroux didn't play bad, but Giroux was supposed to be the bonus cherry on top of the sundae. But what happened was the Barkov-Huberdeau sundae melted and left the cherry on. Yeah, it was still on top, but it was on top of melted ice cream. Giroux
Yep.
wasn't supposed to come in and carry us. He was supposed to be how do you defend all these guys? Well, it's easy when Barkov and Huberdeau didn't really show up.
Yep.
That put Giroux in a spotlight that he really wasn't meant to be in.
Yep.
So is what it is there. But back to the defense. So, I obviously, I'm gonna keep saying it. I predicted that we're gonna win the cup. And I'm gonna keep that. And like I've said before, we're gonna start slow. So don't anybody give me any grief after 20 games.
That would be a real not gonna say a slap in the face on Huberdeau, but that would be awesome for Kachuk
right.
to be the guy, the catalyst,
right,
the final puzzle piece,
right,
whatever. That number one adds all the stuff that he brings, and number two, the intangible, he makes Barkov a better leader.
right.
That Barkov rubs off. The flip side of that coin is, does Barkov have it in his DNA? I don't think so. And I saw a thread on Twitter on Friday where they listed all the captains.
Yeah.
All the comments on Barkov were negative, that he should not be the captain.
Yeah, I saw that. I was enjoying my day too much to chime in because I get argued with too much.
I mean, I agree with everybody. We've said that, we've said that all along. We talked about Vinny Trocheck having an attitude. I don't think he was the right choice for captain. The right choice for captain was going to be Gabranson, and then once Gabranson left,
it should have been
Ekblad should have stepped up in that top role.
Yep.
So the only way I see a change of captaincy is if Barkov voluntarily gives it up.
Right.
And again, we've had captains in the past.
Yeah, it's happened.
Clark Gillies, Dustin Brown on LA.
Right.
He gave up the captaincy for Kopitar. I mean, there's just guys that are just not cut out to be the captain.
Yeah. So with those four, the troubling spot for me is I have no problem. I said this before. I have no problem starting the season off with Carlson, Montour, Stahl, Gudis. Okay, and maybe you got Delzato or you've got Kirsten there as your 70. Somehow we already know there has to be some kind of a move just to be able to afford to have those guys up.
And I'd hate it.
up
I'd hate to see it be Carlson.
Oh, you mean the move? No, no. I mean,
No,
I don't.
I'm throwing that out there.
I don't see how we could move a defenseman. We need defensemen.
Anybody's movable.
Well, I mean, that's true. That's true. But at the same point, it's like if you're moving Carlson for defensive help, then you're going to need more money because obviously you'd be going for a better player. And they just re-signed the kid. So I have a feeling they like enough. They like or like us, where they saw enough last year. It's like I kind of want to see some more. A little gut feeling tells me they're really not planning on starting him on the second line. I have a feeling this is not what I think should happen, what I think will happen. Like I said in my season preview, I think they're going to start Stahl with Montour on that second pair and see if Stahl can hack the minutes. That's because, and you also mentioned that you heard Maurice likes the veterans, right?
Yeah.
So that's another angle where, you know, what I think is going to happen, what I want to happen are probably going to be two different things.
Right. Or Stahl and Gudis. I still say that's going to be the pair.
Right.
Two vets.
But the concern I have is not starting off the season like that. The concern I have is if something happens to any of the six, but especially any of Montour, Ekblad, or Forsling, the lack of assets and cap space to make something happen at the deadline is significant. So health of these guys, and that circles all the way back to you can't wear out Ekblad and Forsling 28, 29 minutes a night because Stahl can't handle the minutes. You can't have that disparity there because that's where the injuries come. Just, you know what I mean? That's how guys get hurt. So there's a concern there, but at the same time, and I grasp this, that it usually doesn't work this way. If everybody stays healthy and everybody can do their job that they're pinpointed to do, we'll be okay. I think we're good enough. Go ahead.
Let's say, God willing, they go through the season, no major injuries. If Ekblad and Forsling are carrying the load, by the time they get to the playoffs, they're burnt.
Right.
It happened with Barkov that 1 year where he just didn't have any gas left in the tank when the playoffs came. So time management is going to be really key.
Right. Yeah.
Ekblad's got to play. He's got to play every game.
He's got to play every game.
He can't have another season where he has a major injury.
Right. And you know, I said in the video I did for him that I feel like he's kind of due to have a full season. And he's young enough. Again, he's only 26. So I mean, he's young enough to handle the minutes. But like you said, it's, to me, it's that second pair. You've got to have the right second pair to be able to put out there, take some of the pressure off of those guys. It can't be where, like, and we saw it last year with Bruno Sum. We've seen it in the past, like they would just keep throwing Barkov and Huberdeau out there, just keep every other shift. We've seen that with Ekblad, and especially with Weegar last year when Ekblad got out. Good God. I mean, Mackenzie Weegar would be on the ice for 90 seconds. He'd come off for 30 seconds for a face-off, and there'd be an icing, and he'd be back out on the ice, and you know what I mean? He's sucking wind.
I think Montour has earned the second pairing.
Yeah.
And
I agree.
He's got such offensive potential.
Right. Yeah. And he's young enough, you know, to fill those minutes. Now, I'm going to put you on the spot here because I don't have an answer for this question, but you might, because you pay a little bit more attention to the full Who's on your list? If Zito could somehow, oh, I'm really going to put you on the spot here now. It's too bad you would have needed a cigar for this question. But if Zito could get a defenseman that was going to be like a legit, almost top line second pair defenseman, but it was going to cost us Hornquist, what does GM Stu do, and what player? If you're saying yes,
Matt Dumba from Minnesota.
oh, okay,
I've mentioned him before.
right. That's yes, you
The
have.
question is cap space.
Right.
See, I don't know. I don't know what other free agents are left.
I'm not sure either. I to be honest, it's
But,
I don't know.
What do we give Minnesota?
Well, that's the other thing is like I said earlier, we've run out of ammunition. Denisenko is about on his last opportunity. You know what I mean?
That was the name that was going to come out of my mouth.
Right.
Denisenko, Heponiemi.
Right.
I mean, Mammon's gone and Marchment's gone.
Right.
I'd hate to say this, but like I said, everybody is tradable.
Right.
He might dump Lumber.
Ooh. Oh.
I know. Fan favorite, but let's just be realistic.
Call 911, bro.
Let's just be realistic and logical here. Lumberg's a type of player that I think every team wants.
Right.
So you got to look at not just us dumping a player. You got to have a willing partner,
right,
and a player that willing partner is going to want.
That would be rough
because Hornquist, is getting up there, and he's 5.5 mil.
That's rough, man, because you think about the culture that we're trying to build, and we just added Kachuk. If you subtract Hornquist and Lomberg, it's kind of like we may as well have kept Huberdeau. You know what I mean?
No, I mean, I don't obviously.
Yeah, I get it,
and everybody else loves Lamborghini.
Well, if it happens, then you're the guy that predicted it. I'm going to lose the 1,000 subscribers I gained from predicting the Chuck trade.
I'm not predicting anything. I'm just trying to look at names,
right,
and just be realistic. Because again, Zito will trade anybody to make the team better, and now he's just screwed because he needs money freed up.
Yeah.
Not that Lomberg's making a lot of money.
And the other name there, again, I don't want anything to happen. I've seen this talked about on Twitter somewhat, and I brought it up earlier on in the off season, and that's Sam Bennett, because he's on a very friendly contract. But if you had to go Barkov, Reinhart, Lundell, or that ain't bad either.
I don't
want to get rid of.
I don't see.
You're like me with Lomberg. You're not giving me Bennett. Well, then I'm not giving you Lomberg if I can't have Bennett.
Right.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And Patrick Hornquist is over here in the corner going, "You sons of bitches." I'm all that's left.
Unfortunately, that's the reality.
That's the reality of it. Yeah.
We kind of knew that this was coming.
Right.
Because Yandel got that crazy contract.
Right. It's like when you get divorced and after it's all said and done, you're going to have to write the big check, out of your 401k. It's like you could know it's coming, but when that money gets subtracted out of the bank account, it's like, damn it. Could I have done anything different? Could I have put up that's $500,000 worth of shit? I should have put up with? You know what I mean?
Well, that $5.4 million next year is going to Knight.
Yeah, or something like then that's the whole other situation. You know what I mean?
I mean,
in terms of
that just, you know, that's what I think is going to happen.
yeah, yeah.
Like, because where's the money coming from, Knight? It's going to, you know, and I also think, I don't know if we're still have, I know the Scott Darling thing, the buyout with him is coming off the books. And are we done with Luongo?
Let me check that. Let me slide this over and check that because that's a good question. Let me
I mean, I
see.
think we talked about $13.5 million that we're going to have next year. Because if Hornquist doesn't get traded, they're not going to re-sign him.
Right.
So
All right, let me see.
that's another 5.5. So between Hornquist and Yandel, that's 11 million.
No, dead cap is just the Scott Darling and Keith Yandel. So the Luongo thing is done. And this is the last year of the Scott Darling.
Right.
And then the 5.3 Yandel comes off. But for the following 2 years, we still have 1.24 for Keith Yandel. So we're not completely done with Yandel after this season. We still have 1.2 in debt for 2 seasons. Son of a bitch.
Yeah. Yandel's done in Philly.
Yeah, no, I was surprised to see that he didn't say, okay, I'm going to retire. I mean, I get it. You still want to play and everything. The way that whole situation was handled, I know this off topic, but it was just like, look, I made fun of the guy and all of that and everything like that. But it was just like, to let him play all that way. And then what they do, stop him like 2 games before 1,000 or something. I mean, it was
yeah, something like that.
It was like he didn't deserve to play the previous 20 games either. You know what I mean?
Right.
He was clearly done.
Yeah, they should have let him get to 1,000. All right, whatever. Back
I
to
know.
topic. All right.
You know
so
me.
listen,
I like to stick up for people.
Are we in agreement here that the natural order thing, I mean, you know, the natural order of things would be to move Stahl down to the third pairing because of the minutes, unless he just comes out like, you know, a revitalized Mark Stahl.
I think it's going to go like this. I think Maurice is going to skate up the Stahl and says, can you play 17 minutes or can you play 22? And whatever Stahl says is where he's going to go. That's my guess. Now,
well, we'll see from his play in the first 10 games or so.
And that's the thing. Like if you give him 10 games and he can't handle it, then you move him down, you move Carlson up, assumedly. And then you cross your fingers. You know what I mean? So I have a feeling that's the way it's going to go.
That six defenseman slot is still up in the air. Kerstead could come out like gangbusters, like he played in the first couple of games.
That's a good
and
point.
He takes the slot.
Right.
You and me, like the Carlson Montour pair.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think Carlson is more than adequate to be that stay back, you know, pair.
Right.
Let Montour do his thing.
And the other thing, I was talking with this about somebody else. Don't forget, you know, we're thinking about how all of these players have played under the previous system, and Maurice is going to focus on the forwards playing good defense and coming back and back checking and everything too. So I don't think you're going to see as many situations where it's not going to be run and gun. You're not going to see as many situations where it's our 2 defensemen skating backwards as fast as they can, and it's a 3-on-2 because the forwards are in the zone, just assuming that Uyghur or Ekblad is going to get the puck and get it down the ice to him. I think you're going to see something completely different. So I think, you know, some of the ways that we saw guys get beat last year, I don't think it's going to be the same thing. And I think it would have been the same for Uyghur if he'd still be here, you know. But
I think there's going to be a dramatic decrease in odd man rushes and giveaways when Ekblad and Forsling are on the ice. Ekblad has to have, I mean, he started off Norris Trophy contention season before he got hurt.
Right.
So what I'm looking from Ekblad is 20 goals. And,
Right.
55 is, I'm again, 75 points.
Right.
It's
Right.
doable, especially with him on the power play.
Yeah.
You got to talk about extra minutes for Montour because he's the quarterback on the second unit.
Right. Right. He's 28. He's fine. He can handle it.
Who knows? Who knows what's going to be with the power play? That's another.
That's a whole nother
unknown.
thing. Right?
That's another unknown.
Right.
The chemistry was there, and Bruno fucked it up.
Well, I mean, yes and no. I mean, we were rolling along, and then Ekblad got hurt. And then we got Giroux and we got Sherratt, and it was just like he didn't know what he couldn't create. That's where it was
even with
his inexperience came in. Was he couldn't take all those players and make something work.
Even when Ekblad was healthy, I didn't like the setup. I didn't like the 4 forward.
Right.
Ekblad was in the wrong place.
Yeah.
We talked about it ad infinitum, where he should be setting up.
Yeah.
So
no, we agree there. We're fixing to find out soon. It is September 4th, and the first preseason game is on the 26th. So that is 3 weeks and 3 weeks in a day. And that's
unbelievable.
It. And then that's it. It just goes from us sitting here doing nothing to 30 videos a week like that, right? So everybody enjoy the last few days off. Appreciate all the new subscribers, even though I'm pretty sure you're not watching. I'm not sure what to do about this, guys. I've been watching it. I know you guys have been seeing it. The channel subscriber-wise is blowing up because of the shorts. It is not leading at all to anything more in the views department. But I don't want to pull the plug on it. So I'm keeping an eye on it. If hockey season starts and it looks like it's hurting views, I'm probably going to stop making the shorts because my focus is on the hockey and building it that way. I'm enjoying seeing that number blow up, even though I kind of know that I'm not sure what it means. And I've been talking with a lot of other creators, and all of us are kind of like, ha ha ha. Nobody, we all had a really good grip on how the algorithm works. And now they've changed it all with shorts, but everybody's experiencing the same thing. We're like, they're getting a ton of subscribers, but it's not translating to the views on the long form content. So I'm going to ride this for now, but if come hockey season, I just want to assure the hockey people, I'm not going to turn it to the dog channel. I'll throw out a dog video here.
Right. Yeah.
When I already did that.
When the hockey season starts.
Yeah. We'll see. If I can throw out the dog shorts and the hockey views are still doing good like they were at the end of the season, I'll keep doing it. And if not, because the way
I still say we're the best podcast for Panther hockey on YouTube.
There you go. We'll end it like that.
I've seen other channels. I'm biased, obviously, but I still think that we got some surprises. We got some really great Panther fans, as our loyal subscribers, and we just gotta get the word out there for more hockey, Panther fans.
Well, we've got some surprises coming this week. I'm going to start letting the cat out of the bag about Wednesday and put that one day at a time out of the bag to by the time we get to about Friday or Saturday, all of the surprises and the expansion of the channel will be, what's the word? Uncovered, discovered, shown. What's the word I'm looking for?
Launched.
Close enough. All right, everybody. Appreciate all the support. And everybody enjoy your Labor Day.
Listen, the season will be here before we know it.
It ain't soon enough.
And then
Paul.
it's going to be it's going to be a roller coaster ride this year.
I'm letting y'all know now. I'm telling you. I'm saying it. I'm saying it. I'm saying it. I know nobody wants to hear it. Those first 20 games that are in the, and we ain't going to be that good. It is not. It's not going to look bad, but
it's not going to be like last year where 4 goals was the minimum.
There's going to be a night or two where the chemistry.
I'm okay with that. I want to see us play playoff hockey during the regular season.
Right.
That's what I want to see. I want to see, the team, new system in place where the emphasis on defense, not leaving the goalies out to dry on, the forwards coming back.
Right.
More physical game. That run and gun was great entertainment during the regular season.
Yeah.
But obviously the opposition watched tons of video and Tampa.
Thank God for Carter Verhaeghe.
Down.
That's all I could say is thank God for Carter Verhaeghe, or we wouldn't have made it past the Capitals.
Yeah, we wanted the Capitals, right?
And Bob. Look, who else was? I'm glad we didn't get Tampa round one. Can you imagine that shit gets swept out of round one with that roster? Jesus, Zito would have been worried about his job if that happens. So,
I'm looking to see 3 players that are unknown to me step up. Bouncers, if I'm not pronouncing that right, tell me. White and
Cousins. Yeah. Everything I saw, I like what I see. Everything I saw, I like what I see. And I get it, when you're watching highlights, you're watching highlights. But
you think Cousins is going to be on the top line, or you think
No.
You think Reinhardt's going to be on the top line? You think Kachuk's going to be on the top line? This is where I want to see some comments, guys and gals.
Yeah.
What do you think? Who do you think is going to be up on the top line?
I already told everybody that.
Do they move Verhaeghe from left wing to right wing?
No.
Because Kachuk would be the natural, choice, but he's a left winger.
Stu clearly did not watch my video where I already laid out all the lines. You got to go. I already told management how it's going to be. Don't you? I mean, by now you should know. I make the video. Zito watches it and makes it happen. I got Coleman White on that top right line. I go into it. There's a video I made last week, 10 days ago, whatever it was, where I made my August line predictions based on what we have, and I lay out my case for it. Doesn't guarantee that it's going to happen. I just made a case and my reasonings for each spot. I tried to make an even balanced line. So
all right.
Appreciate all the support, guys, and we will see you again real soon.